Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My wife and I got married in January. 9 months prior, when we were engaged, she promised that she would get an extraction implant done. It was a problem they found when she was 15 and should have been taken care of, but her parents never had her get the work done. It wasn't due to not having money, but simply because she was dental anxiety and wasn't thrilled about it. They didn't like the surgeon they did the consult with, and they aren't good about following through on things in general. She spoke to them and they readily agreed to cover the cost. She is a full-time PhD student, so was still on their dental insurance plan before we got married. They saw it as their financial responsibility since it was something that should have been taken care of when she was a minor, but they never got around to it. She went to the dentist and they checked with insurance, and it was going to be about $4,000 because the insurance would only pay for a part of the procedure. Her dad said he would call the insurance and try to get them to cover more of the cost, but either had no success or didn't actually do it. She followed up with him every few weeks, and he always had an excuse. This went on for about 4 months, and then we got married, and now she's on my insurance. The cost with my insurance will be around $2,000, and I feel like we should talk to her parents again about it, since they had promised to pay for it, but just hadn't followed through. Am I an a-hole for wanting them to pay for this? Do we just give up, accept that they are unreliable, and save up for ourselves? They have the means to help out. They own 2 houses and are well off. This comes on the heels of some medical insurance problems because her mom didn't take her off of their insurance until 5 months after we got married. Even us asking them 3 times right after we got married, and they assured us that they had. This resulted in us receiving a $1,000 bill. They offered to pay it, but still haven't actually given us the money. So I'm worried I'm not thinking this through clearly, because I'm already exasperated. Edit. Interesting. Looks like this is going the way of Yes, the a-hole. My parents are very honest and straightforward, so if they promise to do something, it happens. Since that's not what I'm used to, this whole situation was confusing to me. To those who said, grow up, this is not a matter of me not wanting to take responsibility or pay. She will get the care she needs. They happily promised to pay for this and didn't. Obviously, not everyone keeps their promises. That's just not my normal experience with family. Right now, I'm going to focus on the $1,000 that they cost us due to their duck-up with insurance and let this go. Though probably with a few offhand comments about how we can't afford to come visit them as much as we want because we are saving up for my wife's dental procedure. Yes, an a-hole. To be honest, they are both adults. Married adults. If OP and she can't afford the dental work, they should not get it done until they can. OP's wife is no longer a child who needs her parents to pay for stuff for her. If they want to help out, that's great, but otherwise, they don't have to do anything. And OP's comments that they won't be able to visit them as much as they want because they will be saving for his wife's dental procedure. That's so manipulating. I'm 34, and my wife and I bought a vacation home in a resort town in Florida a few years ago. The real estate market is ridiculous right now, and we just saw our neighbor's house sell for double what they paid for it 3 years ago. We don't have plans to sell too anytime soon, but we're not totally eliminating the possibility either. We aren't there full-time, so we've let my brother and some of my friends and their significant others without kids stay there from time to time, so they can have a cheap vacation. My dad remarried a woman a lot younger than him last year, and she has 2 boys, 12 and 10. I've only met them a couple times, and they were nice boys, but they're extremely high energy and always running around all over the place. My dad asked if he and his new wife could take the kids there for a week while we aren't there, and after thinking about it, my wife and I decided against it. We love how nice it is and set up, and don't want kids there possibly ruining anything. So we told him if he can get a babysitter and wants to take the wife, that's fine. But we're keeping the place child-free as a safety precaution to keep it in good shape. He was totally mad and kept accusing me of not accepting our new family. I'm sorry, but I don't view those kids as family, despite that they're technically my stepbrothers, given I was over 30 when he married her. He's still mad, and his new wife, who I've never had a strong opinion about, called me pleading too, saying how the boys could really use a vacation and how it could be a great way to build a relationship with them too. I told her sorry, but it was a joint decision between me and my wife, and that's final. This morning, I woke up to another long text from her, and I'm annoyed, but also figured I'd get some other perspectives on if I'm being unreasonable, because my brother thinks I should give them a trial run, but essentially said, at the end of the day, it's my call, but that he would. Edit. The no kids rule has applied to anyone who stayed there. Currently, we've only let my brother and 3 of our good couple friends stay there. It's not a place we're advertising to all our friends or relatives. I don't hate kids. They're fine, but I'm just not going to go out of my way to build a relationship with the kids of my dad's 3rd wife, who is younger than me. It's just not a priority to me, but I would never be cruel to them. I'm not a monster. Not the a-hole. You letting me and my kids use your property for free, while you won't be there, is a great way for you to build a relationship with them. That's really dumb logic. Also, OP's house, his call. While OP's dad has a new family, they don't have to be OP's, especially when they entered his life when he was in his 30s. I, female 35, have been with my husband, male 42, for 3 years. I have 2 stepchildren who are 6 and 11. Family treats me well, but mom and dad tend to be distant, but cordial with them and my husband. My parents have planned my family cruise vacation. This trip has been the instant topic of conversation of family gatherings in the past months. It was supposed to be this past week, but we had a family conflict. It began when my mom called to tell me that kids are no longer allowed, which felt strange because 1, this is a week-long family cruise vacation. I'm not sure where all the kids are supposed to stay. 2, they've never said no kids before, and all the kids in the family have been waiting for it. I said I don't agree, but she said decision's already been made. But I think because my husband and I paid, then our children should go, right? Mom didn't want to argue, and she said she was just giving everybody else the heads up, so now we know. My parents gave me 2 days to decide and pressured me a lot, saying my sister and brother already arranged for their kids to stay with a relative while they and partners go on the cruise. My husband said I could go and he'd stay with the kids, but I couldn't bring myself to go alone. My joy wouldn't be complete without them. I accidentally ran into my sister at the cafe and we talked about the family cruise and the new no child rule no one saw coming. She asked what I was talking about. Her kids are going, and so is her husband. I was in dismay after she said our parents didn't talk about not wanting kids. I called my brother and he said his kids were coming. I was furious. I called mom and confronted her with what I said and asked why she lied. To exclude my stepkids? What did she expect? That once I see everyone's kids coming, I won't be upset because the cruise vacation will be worth it? She was speechless. I told her I'm not coming if my kids aren't. I had a massive argument with mom, and the day before the trip, she and dad came to berate me, saying I just caused my brother, my sister, my 2 cousins to make a decision to not go after they heard I wasn't coming. Mom said I was petty for getting my brother and sister and cousins to gang up on her and dad and ruin the cruise vacation they spent months planning for and cost them money. We argued and I told them to leave. Mom hoped I was happy to cause my nieces and nephews to miss the cruise because of the nasty move I pulled on them last minute. She said the kids in the family were crying, begging their parents to go, but got them on my side and refused to go on the cruise. Everyone else who didn't have kids and wanted to go has been saying I ruined the vacation for everyone and caused all family children to suffer because of my 2 stepkids' hurt feelings. My brother-in-law said my stepkid's dad could take them on a cruise if they wanted it so much, and no one would say anything since they're not family anyway, and nobody cares what they do or where they go. I said nothing for my sister's sake, but I blocked him after this. Not the a-hole. This is not OP's fault, it's her parents. The reason why everyone is suffering is not because of OP. It's because OP's parents wanted to exclude part of OP's family, in a family vacation, in the shadiest way possible, and it backfired on them. OP needs to stand her ground. I have a group of close friends. Almost all of us are single, except Amy, who is married to Jay and has a 5-year-old kid called Noah. Every year we plan a vacation with just us girls. So in 2018, Amy got married, and the same year she insisted that Jay and her baby be allowed on the trip as well. The rest of us refused, and she agreed to come alone, but showed up with Jay on the departure day at the airport, having bought the tickets. Noah seemed excited, so we all clenched our teeth and went along with it. The whole vacation, the rest of us were treated like free babysitters. In 2019, we told Amy that her husband couldn't come, and if she can't come without her family, then no one will force her. So she said she wouldn't go. On arriving at our resort that year, we saw Amy and her family sitting in lobby. Amy grinning and asking if we liked her surprise. Again, babysitting duties were given to us. I refused though, but Amy didn't think much of it and kept on nagging the others until someone gave in. After this, some of us, including me, wanted to confront her about her behavior, but were convinced by the others to let it go. Last year, of course, we couldn't go anywhere. Yesterday, we were having a get-together when Amy asked if we planned to go anywhere this year. My immediate response to this was, I don't know about the others, but I wouldn't tell you. Half humorously, half serious. The others chuckled at this. Amy got teary-eyed and said she only wanted her family on vacations, to which another friend said that then she should go on separate vacations with them. This resulted in a meltdown about her financial situation and how she cannot afford to go on 2 vacations, and group vacations are cheaper and easier to enjoy when the rest of the group are her friends. All of us exchanged words, some sympathizing with her and others saying she needed to get a reality check. I was called an a-hole for starting this in the first place, but I was just sick of her ruining our vacations, so I told her the truth, because if it were up to me, she really wouldn't know anything about our vacation. So, I don't know. Am I an a-hole? Not an a-hole. OP was told twice it was a girls-only trip, and twice she's ignored this and brought her husband and kid. That, plus the fact she's using her friends as free babysitting. If I took time off work and paid for a vacation, expecting a girls' trip, and one of my friends turned it into a family vacation and I was forced to do unpaid labor, I would be irate. Could OP have been more sensitive in the way the subject was brought up? Maybe, but it kinda sounds like she would have had a meltdown anyway. My in-laws have a tradition where they invite the entire family for a free 2-week vacation to their native country. After I married my husband, they wanted our families to be close, so they began inviting my family along too and funding it. My husband and I have been separated for 8 months. Our families only found out 2 months ago, but they all assume we will be working things out. So my mother-in-law made a group chat to plan the family holiday. I assumed she had added me as a mistake, so I left, but she kept repeatedly adding me back, and eventually my sister-in-law called me out on constantly leaving. I informed them that I wouldn't be joining in, and I privately asked my family to also leave the chat. They refused to, and instead, everyone started hounding me in the group chat. They were laying on the guilt trip thick, and I probably would have given in if my sister-in-law and sister didn't drag my husband, who had been silent until then, into it. He said, "It's fine. I doubt my name can keep this charade up until August, but if it helps, I promise to stay on an opposite end of the house at all times." I haven't spoken to or seen my husband in 8 months, so this message just infuriated me. I sent a very long and very rude message back. At one point, I wrote that his family holiday was a sham because we weren't family anymore. Then I left the group chat before anyone could respond. I didn't get added back again, but I did get a message from my sister who said my mother-in-law had removed all my family after formally uninviting them from the holiday. My sister is devastated because her long-distance boyfriend lives where we were going to be staying, so this was her chance to finally see him in person again. My parents are mad at me because they felt like I had embarrassed them and ruined their friendship with my in-laws. My in-laws are upset, hurt, with me for the family comment. So, am I an a-hole? OP is not an a-hole. The fact that even OP's family jumped on the wagon to guilt her baffles me. It just seems like her family wanted the free trip, and now are mad at OP that they can't get it. OP's family needs to grow up. And if OP's sister wants to see her boyfriend, she can either pay for it herself or ask her boyfriend to pay for it. It's got nothing to do with OP. OP owes them nothing.